Hello, welcome back to Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. And recently there's been a lot of talk about Hasbro's retooling, repacking, repainting and generally just re-releasing old figures that we've already got. Now, I got into a little discussion on a live stream chat the other night, and I did say the simple fact is that moulds for new figures are so expensive. And then I was asked why that is. So today's video is going to be, why is injection moulding so expensive? If you've ever been involved in injection moulding projects, you know that they can easily be the most expensive part of the project. Of the many factors that influence the cost of injection moulded parts, three rise to the top of the list: the size and intricacy of the part, the number of parts, and the work necessary to make the injection mould. The pricing for all manufactured goods depends on the cost of raw materials and labour, since the price of moulding parts depends on the price of plastic and the labour involved throughout the operation. We'll concentrate on one of the most crucial aspects of this process, the injection mould tooling. We will then briefly discuss the vast array of choices in plastics. An injection mould, also known as a die or injection mould tooling, is the single most expensive item built specifically to produce a plastic part. The injection mould process is quite simple. Pressurized injectors squirt hot plastic into a mould. As the plastic cools, the part forms and the mould splits apart, so the part drops out. One closing injection opening operation of the mould is called a cycle. However, as they say, the devil is in the details. The process involves intricate, instantaneous movement of many parts, some of which with tolerances in their macron range. With that said, the injection die plays a crucial part in the process. They come in many sizes and shapes, each designed for one integral part of what makes up the whole product. All moulds have a cavity. Many have two or more cavities, so that each cycle produces multiple parts that accepts the hot plastic. This cavity is machined, ground and polished to extremely tight tolerances. The process of making a mould begins on an engineering table with the concept that includes the most effective size and number of cavities for a given project. The size and shape of the overall mould are the main factors in manufacturing the mould. Large intricate plastic parts require intricately machined and polished cavities. Moulds that have two parts that simply open and shut against each other are less expensive and more common. However, moulds can get pretty intricate, and the additional features such as slide lifters and cams, which are devices that assist with the production of undercuts. Most large size moulds must be made on large expensive CNC machines by experts in metalworking. The next cost factor considered is the material for the mould. Most injection moulds are machined from steel. Both the type and grade of steel are important. Since tolerances for parts are very tight, the interior cavities of the mould must be nearly wear-free. They cannot deform or pit. In order to avoid any deformation and ensure minimal wear on moulds, hardened and pre-hardened tool steels are the best choice for moulds, according to expert mould makers. Steels and other metals wear for a variety of reasons: heat, friction, hot cold changes, pressure and fatigue. The choice of material for the mould will likely depend on the number of parts to be produced. The more parts to be produced, the better and more expensive grade of steel should be used. Keep in mind that the cost of the raw material is only one factor, given in the cost of machining and finishing the steel will depend on the characteristics of the chosen material. Tooling used to machine steel varies widely in cost as well. Plastic parts are so varied in size and shape that mould making plants need a big inventory of cutting tools, abrasives and other materials for finishing moulds. Companies that specialise in mould making have the expertise needed to recommend and manufacture many kinds of moulds. However, keep in mind that there may be situations where a company is asked to build a product they have never done before. This can add significantly to costs. The number of products that can use plastic parts is uncountable. Throughout the world, more and more products are designed to use plastic for its properties of strength, lightweight and infinite design applications. In various industries, certain plastics are used regularly. In electronics and computing, the requirements that materials must meet, whereas in the toy industry, the requirements could be entirely different. Printed circuit boards require specific materials. Electrical tubing parameters are very different. Prices of plastics used in specific industries vary immensely as well. Like other products bought in bulk, the price per unit may drop as the quantity purchased goes up. However, the ingredients of plastic are both simple and complex. depending on which industry it is being manufactured for. Plastics are manufactured to meet specific needs such as precision cutting, chemical resistance, electrical resistance, heat resistance, and much more. The cost of injection moulding plastic parts is partly defined by bulk material costs. The greater the number of parts, the less customers pay per round of material. However, with material comes some hidden costs, such as storage. Generally, storage of bulk material is expensive, so the faster a customer can receive parts, the lower the cost of storage. These numbers are included in the final cost per part or costs per cycle. There are other factors in the cost of injection moulding that fall into categories typical of all manufacturing, such as maintenance and utilities. For instance, the entire process of plastic injection moulding uses a lot of electricity. Machines are running constantly, thermoplastics are heated to melt, the chillers cool the moulds and the products after the cycle. These all add up to high electrical spending for each time the machine runs a cycle. So as you can see, injection moulding costs encompass an array of things, from simpler things like raw materials and storage, to more complex ones such as engineering and manufacturing. That is why having a sound design optimised for manufacturability from the beginning will help customers save time and money throughout the process, and why it is easier and more cost effective for toy companies to use the same parts and the same moulds. So I hope you found that interesting, it at least answered one person's question. And if you've got a question, I'll always try to answer it. So please put a like on the video, and if you really liked it, please subscribe and check out all my videos. And then if you love the channel, please consider being a member. So thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. And until the next time, may the toys be with you.